Hello guys, NautoAce here, and this is gonna be probably a bit quick vlog, but basically what it is I just want to give two impression game that I bought in the month of February. Yes, I know it's April right now. I do apologize, but in the month of February there were some good games that came out, and one of the biggest one was the Fire Emblem Fates. Either Birthright or Conquest, that was one of the biggest games. Finally, another Fire Emblem coming out. I bought myself Birthright for now. I was gonna buy the special edition at one point, but I guess Nintendo's basically stick to limited edition. So, fortunately, kind of missed the boat, like I said, and I just end up just buying Birthright because I heard it's the easier of the two first, and then Conquest was a little bit harder. But I'll talk about more about that later. And another one also in the same month was Project X Zone 2. Good game. Is it much improved than the first one? I'll give my thoughts on that one as well. So with that, the first thing I want to give my thoughts, my quick impression basically is Fire Emblem Fate Birthright. The reason I just bought Birthright then Conquest is like most people said, it was the easier of the two first. I may like Fire Emblem, but excuse me. Like I said, I may like Fire Emblem, but I'm really not a fan of the permadeath. So this one's kind of addressed to the casual. I mean, there's classic mode also, but basically preferred going casual here. Sorry, because I could never finish a Fire Emblem game because I hate the idea of permadeath. Oh man, great! I lost my character. I don't want to deal with that. So there you go. So is it a much improvement than Fire Emblem Awakening, which I also got last year? Yes, because it very had a very super easy for casual mode than Fire Emblem Awakening. Awakening had casual mode, what basically is if a character dies in the battle, they go back in the next battle. So there you go. This one basically same deal, but if you really put it on super easy mode, I know shame on me. They when they die, you wait for a turn, and then after the turn was done, they go back up again. And the whole point for that really is for the very casual, just want to know about the story, don't want to deal with the gameplay. There you go. So again, I like the story. It's interesting, and the story here, I'm not gonna really talk about it. But if you know the intro premises, I think people already talk about it. Is that you have no, let's just say your premise really still unknown. You're supposed to be that's the reason why Birthright was supposed to be that Hoshido was a place where you grew up, or the place where you were born. While Conquest, you go to the Dark Kingdom, which is you grew up because you got kidnapped with a kid. And here's a little bit of a spoiler for anyone, so I mean not so much. Is the first six chapter of the game, whether it's Birthright or Conquest, it'll be the same story. You kind of get the gist of what the story is. And then at one point you finally go to a situation where like, who do you choose? Hoshido or Nor? There you go. I forget what the other one, Nor. And it depends of how you got the game. You can either choose one or two, or of course, whatever game you have, what cartridge you have or game card. That's when you have to play the story with. So, but I'm not here about the story. Like I said, interesting story. I'm just somewhere. I'm still in the beginning, a bit of beginning, but further along. Right now, they're look. Let's just say for me, the story is Birthright. A little bit of spoiler. They're trying to build an army. That's what I'm gonna say. But like I said, gameplay much better. The character, I guess, are better than in Awakening, in my opinion. And the feature of My Castle, I think that's gonna actually help you. I guess develop your skill. You can actually do that because there's like places you can build that helps you boost your army, and of course there's the interaction part minus the petting game. Again, they removed it. Whatever. Kind of sad, but Nintendo is Nintendo. You know, they're the kid family company. So yeah, the castle, and especially if you have Fire Emblem Amiibo, minus Roy, because it doesn't work yet with Roy. But if you have the other four, Mart, Ike, Robin, and Lucina, you can actually use them. They'll give you items, and later on, if you keep using them, you can actually challenge them so they can team up with you. So there you go. And of course, there's also the best part. Of this one is Birthright is again it's meant for beginners. There is a lot of side quests. There are some repeated quests you can do to help build up your team. I heard Conquest not so much because again it's supposed to be the hardcore version. Again, I don't know yet. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving my impression on Birthright. Like I said, if you're new to Fire Emblem and you can only get Fates, I say go start with Birthright. So again, much better than Awakening. New people who wants to get into it, they'll have fun. So if I can't really give a grade because, like I said, it's an impression, not really much of a review. But would I recommend it? Definitely. If you have a 3DS, definitely, get it. So the next game I want to give my impression on is Project X Zone 2, a new brave world. I think that's what the subtitle. I don't know. So yes, it is the sequel to Project X Zone. Same deal. You got the three big companies: Sega, Capcom, and Namco Bandai teaming up against some bad guy. And of course, this ultimate bad guy, he recruited a lot of bad guy from various games. So again, more characters than the first one. Bad guy, new characters to play as. I mean, this unfortunately you gotta remove some to add some new ones here. So there's some interesting one. This one that was in the first game. So first of all, is it much easier than the first one? I think they're just the same. But what they did was they had to tone down a lot of the gameplay mechanics, especially like the party. First of all, like in the first game, the more party you have, the more characters you control. That's out. One of the new basically they did was for new stages when you're getting more teammates on your party, you have to choose a limited number to basically to fight on the battle. Second, the battle system itself, they limited that to basically 3 times rather than the more you level up, you can go up to 5 times in the attack. Not this time, they made it 3. So they kind of toned on a bit because I think one of the problems with the first one that people kind of, I guess, complained was that even if the battle were good, one chapter, especially you go in the middle all the way to the end, it really takes a long time to finish. So they had to tone it down for this one. So that's why they limited the party to 10, limited attack to up to 3, but they kind of balance it out. So is it really hard? Well, if you're not really good with strategy Japanese role-playing game, I guess. But like I said, it's not really that hard. They don't make it hard. But it is also not for beginners. I'm sorry to say. They kind of teach you in the prologue stages, but again, there are some micromanagement that you have to do. Equip item, build up their attributes, and then again, find the right supporting character to the main fighters. Because it's the same thing as the first game. Like you got you got solo units and double units. Double units are mostly fighters. Solo are like assist attack that gives you like a boost advantage. Yeah. So do they have some better characters in the first one? Sort of. It depends which one you like. So one of the top one in my top of my head that people gonna love the character is a solo unit called Segata Sanshiro. If you don't know who this guy is, he's a Japanese actor who basically in Japan they did a commercial on the Sega Saturn. This is the guy. He's obsessed with telling people that you have to play Sega Saturn or he'll break your fingers. So I mean he had a good premise. There's no logic behind him. Because remember, the logic here is like time and space. But when it comes to this guy, they really just don't understand. Like, oh, this guy appears in multiple Sega games. So, spoiler, a lot of Sega characters know who this guy is. Excuse me. So, another one I think that's interesting is Kazuya and Jin. So, the new character, Kazuya Mishima, teams up with Jin Kazuma. So, you got father and son, really, they don't really get along. And then, of course, when they're super, what they do is they try and basically punch each other, kind of entertaining there. Oh, another one is another solo unit is Phoenix Wright. So if you're a fan of the Phoenix Wright series, there you go. He comes there, of course, in the end. He basically said the giant word objection, and you see it on Japanese, which is like Darkstream say the reason why people wanted Phoenix Wright in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is so he can just say so they can just pop in the word objection and then hit enemy with it. I'm not really a fan of the Phoenix Wright. I know it's a niche, and I know it's so sad that even in America, they kind of like, they hardly support it in America because, again, kind of niche. Not a lot of people buy them. I remember my friend bought the DS one, the first three, and he got it for $20. So, kind of get the idea there, like what happened. There you go. So what else other characters is interesting there? I guess there was Axel for Street of Rage, but just a Final Fight character for Sega. What else I can think of? Haseo from Dot Hack GU. And spoiler, because like I said, sometimes it's also about time and space. He basically say, oh, I'm Haseo, I'm playing the world R2 or R3, while he teams up with Kite, which apparently this guy's from the past said, well, I'm playing the world R2. And Haseo's R3. So, I mean, if you play the game, you can understand the story. Is that the whole point of the team, they're teaming up with for franchise, people from the past versus people from the future. Another another example is Resident Evil. Jill, and I can spoiler a bit here, Jill and Chris are from Revelation, while Leon Kennedy is from Resident Evil 6. So if you know the timeline, Revelation came first, then 5, then 6. So Leon at one point will say, how come you two look so young? And then they say, wow, Leon, you look so old. So again, you cannot get an idea. It's about basically one of the theme there is heroes from the past teaming up hero from the future. Like another example I can say is Dante and Virgil. Dante's from Devil May Cry 4, while Virgil, well, Devil May Cry 3. And if you know Devil May Cry 3, it takes place way before Devil May Cry 1. Yeah, Devil May Cry 1. I mean, at least they didn't use the one from DMC, the reboot version. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, people are so sad about that or complaining about it. I might give a quick thoughts about it, like the game and the story and the idea behind it. But all I can say for people, chill out, man. Just chill out, dude. Ugh. Alright, so like I said, would I recommend this game? Unless you like crossover, you like strategy, Japanese RPG with timing attacks, then yeah, sure. But like I said, I like Fire Emblem Birthright, which is easier. This one is not really easy. So it has a good story. Why do these people join together? Gameplay wise, not so much. Again, it's all about timing, choosing the right team, right combination. So not so much for new people. Sorry to say, it is a fun game, I can say, but it is very. It's for hardcore. Let's just say that. I like Fire Emblem Fate. Much like I said, put it on easy casual mode. Anybody can play it. But still, both games are fun, very fun. But like I said, if you have to choose one of those two, based on my opinion, my thoughts about it, I would go with Fire Emblem Fate Birthright. Alright, so there you go, my impression of those two games, Project X Zone 2 and Fire Emblem Fate Birthright.